4,000. Hundreds and hundreds of people who have come in times who have said, we have been sent by God to invite you to God. There is a life in the hereafter. This life has a law. And those people took all the troubles to invite the people, and the people have not accused them of any misconduct or any bad behavior and immorality. And many of them actually gave their lives. Then it is very likely that you should pay attention. You know, the probability is very high that you should pay attention and say, okay, let me actually examine this theory of having a God, and if I come to a conclusion, I'll deny that there is no God. But let me study it first. Don't just ignore this call from inside you. Okay? Any questions on it so far? Clear? Now, this instinct, now ulama argue there is a difference between nature and instinct. Instinct is stronger than nature. Shaykh Mutahari has a book called Fitrat, Nature, and in that he actually argues that no, there is a difference between nature and instinct, or fitrat and ghariza. It is in your nature to love your children, but the people in the time of the Holy Prophet, they used to bury their daughters alive. So the ones who now say that if it is in your nature to believe in God, then why doesn't everyone believe in God? Again, people can go against their nature. The love for children is in nature. Everyone says it is in nature. As soon as you have a child, you just quickly build a bond towards it. You build a love towards it. It is in nature, but people go against their nature because the society tells you to go against that. Someone does something and he says, you have to follow me, and people start following them, like burial of the daughter and many other things. So things are in your nature, but you go against them. But it is in your nature because not everyone buried their daughter alive. Many people used to say, I've buried one daughter, I can't do it again. Because it was in their nature to love their daughters. So that nature continuously calls you back, because if everyone had buried their daughters, then there wouldn't be any women to live and to give birth and to be married off. So there were so many people who were not doing it. So that shows that it is in nature, and there are so many people who still say that, yes, I find it in myself. Another argument. Ayatollah Misbah Yazdi says that belief in God is so obvious. There are two types. In logic, when you study logic, they say that concepts can be of two types, Daruri and Nazari. Obvious and that which require thinking. Obvious, that doesn't require any thinking, and that which requires thinking. For example, 1 is half of 2 is obvious. Yes? No one would require, okay, tell me how is 1 half of 2, or why is 1 smaller than 2? No one would, even if you did. For example, when they asked Aristotle, what is 1? What is the definition of 1? He said it's half of 2. He said, what's the definition of 2? He said it's double of 1. He said, then what's 1? He said it's half of 2. So they said, the definition shouldn't be based on itself. You are defining a thing by itself. 1 is half of 2, 2 is double of 1. So he said, he came up with a conclusion. Before Islam, this is. Obvious things cannot be defined. Obvious things cannot be defined. Yes? You don't have a definition for obvious things. And it's accepted by all logicians, Islamic or non-Islamic. Yes? All logicians accept this. Obvious things, badihiyat, do not require a definition. You don't have definitions for obvious things. They say that the existence of God is an obvious thing. Okay? It is an obvious thing. However, Ayatollah Misbah Yazdi says, belief in a God only requires, like if you were to cross a river, you have a moving bridge which is hanging onto a few ropes and some wood. That's it. If you want to cross a river by yourself, you can easily cross a river on that bridge. But if you had a whole flock of sheep or something like that, yes, a whole herd or a whole army that wanted to cross that river, you would require a very strong bridge made of concrete and metal. He says you only require a moving bridge hanging onto a few ropes with wood to believe in God. But we are only and only making these concrete metal bridges in proving God because there are so many people who are working against approval. There are so many people who are working against the belief in God. That's why you need to have so many philosophical arguments and so many theological arguments. You only and only need them because there are many people in denial of God who are working in confusing the people. Okay? Otherwise, simple things from nature prove to you that, yes, look at this, there must be a God. Yes? We'll go into those proofs a bit later. We're not going into them. Now, should you believe in a religion? They say that this question, that is there a being, a supreme being, these things will only and only be answered in religion, in faith. And hence there is a question, again, when I'm using ahadith and ayat, not because we don't have logical proofs, but because these verses and these ahadith, these traditions, they provide us logical basis, and they are giving us a logical argument towards a person who denies God from the infallibles, from Almighty Allah and the infallibles. The seventh Imam, Imam Musa Kazim alayhi salam says, Rahimallah imra'an, may Allah have mercy on the person who knows min aina ila aina wa fi ain, where he's from, where he's going to, and where he's living. The answer for where he's from God. Where he's going to, that is a hereafter. And where he's in, that is this dunya, that is hidayat or guidance or the messengership and the imamat. Okay? So Imam al-Islam is saying that ask always, where are you from to a person? Where are you originally from? Who created you? Did you just come into being yourself? These questions will always provoke a person in thinking about God. Human beings always want to know their origin. When you tell them about Adam and how you started, they always want to know, yes, I want to know more about my origin. Everyone wants to know more about their origin. This is in the human instinct, human nature. You want to know. So you keep taking them back until it is provoked in their mind. Hang on, who was the first person? Where did he come from? Who created him? Was it accidental? Was it a Big Bang? Was it God? Who was it? And that even the Big Bang theory itself is a creation of the human mind because of that question. Why, where from? That made a human think and produce a theory because they couldn't answer. They could not find God, so they made up something to quench their thirst and deny the God. And say, okay, let's have an answer. You can't say nothing happened. They wanted to give always an answer. They couldn't deny that there was no beginning. There was. Everything started from nothing. All the scientists say. From nothing, yes. From Allah started everything from nothing. Min la shay. When the Imam was asked, how do you prove the existence of God? He said, the one who created everything from nothing. You always need something to create something. If I wanted to make a chair, I need wood, I need nails, I need things to create something. From la shay, from nothing into something, that is God who can create something from nothing. Again, these are just brief points. I'm going to go into proving God from philosophy. These are not proofs at the moment. So these are basic questions that we wanted to answer. If there are any questions, we'll answer them now. Otherwise, I'm going to go into the next lesson.
Can you please explain?
Can you take the microphone, please?
Can you please explain a bit more the bridge theory of the Ayatollah Yazdi? Because you said that we just need one hanging bridge to reach to the God. But if we are together, means collectively, if we want to reach the God, then you are said by yourself that the hanging bridge is not enough because it's made of rock. So can you explain that a little bit further, please?
Okay.